Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where we are just checking in on a couple of our more long-term missions. We are 58 days and 163 days away from any action on those, so that's fine. Let's check in quick on our mission control to see if we've got anything here. Explore the moon, docking on or around the moon. That's not something we're going to do just now. So I think we'll just not do that. Excellent. And we are going to be opening up our science rover, specifically this science rover that we designed last episode. And we're going to be sending this guy up. I just want to check in on our staging here. We'll double check this, make sure this is all good to go. That looks reasonably fine. What is this decoupler? Oh, that's this guy. Okay. Fantastic. So we will save and launch this. This is technically an experimental launch. But it really probably shouldn't be. Like, I think this is probably a real launch. Although if this is a real launch, then I should revert back and double check our aerodynamics. Looks good. Okay, so this is a real launch then. Well, let's go. And off we go. Fantastic. We'll hop into our orbital view here. This is real awkward. Uh-huh. Real awkward, indeed. I don't know which way I need to tip. Okay. I now know which way I need to tip. Whoa. I maybe know which way I need to tip. So you know how I said this was a real launch? I mean, it's probably fine. What's our inclination like right now? Yikes! Our inclination is real wacky. Okay, that worked well. So, let's, I mean, it's fixable. It's not going to be pretty. It's going to take a lot of DV. This thing is very overbuilt, and this is something that we can fix in future iterations. We cannot lock to anything. You know what? This was an experimental flight. It definitely was. And we are just going to attach about right here. We're going to attach in a pod. And this is going to be a remote guidance unit. Bam. Just like that, it's fixed. We are going to control from here. So I want to reroute this thing. Actually, no, I don't. No, yeah, I do. I want to reroute it like that. And we can always control from here later on. So this control module would be lost. It does have its own reaction wheel. What is the strength of the reaction wheel? 0.5 across the board. The small inline reaction wheel is 5 across the board. So that's 10 times stronger. Okay. So this is going to be drastically changing our staging, of course. Why don't we have an attach point here? You know what? It's fine. Decoupler. We'll just rebuild it. It's a TD06, and then a modular girder segment. There we go. We don't need to rebuild the fairing. Okay. So let's double check our staging. That looks good. That looks good. Excellent. Excellent. And yeah, that looks fine. Okay. Now this should in theory be a real launch, assuming that our orientation is correct. Orientation looks good. Okay, this is our real launch. Off we go. Now that I actually know what direction we're facing, that helps a lot. We could have salvaged the previous one. It would have taken a lot of DV and been really frustrating. Having this is going to be huge. Okay, we are currently about 5 kilometers on the apoapsis. We are now 10 kilometers, and let's just begin to pitch over this way just a wee bit, with an actual inclination on this launch of roughly 0. And we'll just continue to slowly pitch on over, trying not to get too far away from the prograde marker here so as to not have too many aerodynamic forces. Also trying to stay right on that heading of 90 degrees. Our apoapsis is at this point plenty high, and we're not really going to see too much for aerodynamics, so now I'm just heading for the horizon. So that we can have some of this SRB power actually working towards getting ourselves some horizontal speed. Excellent. Okay, we'll cut that. This is a much, much better launch. And we'll just circularize this to about here. Fantastic. We'll lock to that maneuver node. And we can ditch this fairing at this juncture. Excellent. We are not going to be extending this photovoltaic panel. We'll be relying on these and alternators. Actually, no, these can be repacked. We will extend this photovoltaic panel because it can be turned. And then we'll have to retract it before landing, which should be fine. So we want to burn this at T-minus 33 seconds. And we will now warp towards that. Just a little bit further. About 10 seconds now. And we want to burn right about now. Excellent. We've still got tons of fuel in this tank. And we've got too much fuel in this tank. But that's okay. This design is intended to go considerably further than the moon. Still about another 40 seconds left in this burn. And yes, this is a rather high apoapsis. It's fine. We have plenty of gravitational potential energy. We'll just claim that that's a benefit. It really kind of isn't, but it doesn't hurt. It also doesn't help. Five more seconds left in this burn. Good enough. Okay, we will set the moon as our target, because that is, of course, where we are going. We're about half a degree off currently, but I think that's fine. We'll just, right around here or so, burn for the moon. Yeah, that should be relatively fine. We'll burn around here. A little less speed. For now, anyway. We'll fine-tune this at this point. Okay, what are we looking at here for our orbit? We're looking at some awkwardness. Fair enough. Now this is pretty solid. Take this down to about 50 kilometers. Yeah. We have so much Delta V. This is insanity. We'll physics warp this turn. Hopefully we don't run out of electric charge. I think we're good on that front. Our burn time is 49 seconds, so of course we want to burn this at, what, 24.5 seconds. Okay, so we are aligned. And we'll just warp forward a couple of minutes. Okay, here in about 10 seconds. Now, if we go to the moon, we're going to be able to do our circularization of the moon with this stage. Like, most of this stage is going to be wasted. That's okay. In retrospect, we may have wanted to angle this differently. I did it this way because of the rectangular shape of the actual rovemate. I don't know, we might be better off just packing away the photovoltaic panels before landing. Okay, so we will be finishing up this burn in just a moment. Just another 10 meters per second. Good enough. Yep, that'll do. At this periapsis, we're just going to do a quick braking maneuver. Because we burned some extra DV to get here, that braking maneuver is quite cheap. So we will just do something kind of like this guy right here. Excellent. We will align for that. And we've still got enough DV in this to do this plus some. Most of our landing will be done with this tank, but we will have to ditch this tank at some point. Okay, we're basically aligned. So we will warp to this maneuver. That's only 4 hours away. That is not bad. We are out of electric charge right now, which is awkward. Our solar panel is occluded by this fuel tank. Can we stage this? No, we can't. Okay. Well, I'm going to quick save this. And we're just going to warp ahead. And see when we get some electric charge. It should be soon. No? We're just angled wrong. That is super awkward. I do believe we're going to escape. Yep, we escaped. We are just angled wrong, too. What is our trajectory? Escape velocity? Yes, it is. Okay. Really, we're still not getting any power flow here? I can clearly see that there's light on the panel. There, now we have power. Where are we? We have escaped the Kerbal system. Okay, we might be able to repurpose that for something. Let's check our contracts. So, science data from space around Gilly. I mean, we have so much DV, we could get somewhere in theory. Space around isn't really what we're looking for. Okay. But we can launch another one of these, and this one is going to the moon. So yeah, the issue there was we needed to rotate slightly. Or perhaps even better, do our final rotation once we got there. But that existing one is not going to be useless. We are going to repurpose that and send it somewhere else entirely. Where? I don't know yet. And we'll see what we get from contracts before we decide where it's going. But I mean, I guess we slingshot around the moon and got ourselves a cool little interplanetary rover. It's not the worst outcome. I do want to complete this moon contract, though. I really, really do. So we will go ahead and begin our tippage over here. I'm going to make this a more aggressive gravity turn than was last time. We've had a bit of roll come in, just correcting that. Okay, we're currently at about 40 kilometers above the surface, so I'm going to hold here for a moment. 50. 60. Okay, we're good. There we go. SRBs. Going off. We're separated. We did end up losing 2 tail fins, but that's okay. Our apoapsis is lower this time. It's fine. Really doesn't matter. So we are just going to circularize like that. That is not going to take much at all. We'll ditch the fairing now. We are currently plenty high. Excellent. We are not going to deploy this until we are out of the atmosphere. Allegedly, this is a 1 minute 3 second burn. I don't believe it. It's going to be slightly less than that. Just going to physics warp here as we exit the atmosphere, which we now are. This is going to be a 50-second burn, so T minus 25 seconds is when we want to burn. And we will go ahead and orient for that. I mean, we already basically are. I'm just warping towards it now. I wasn't paying attention for a moment there, and I missed my window by a couple seconds. It doesn't matter. We'll still get into orbit with plenty to spare. Not too much more speed needed here. We have so much DV. This is absolute insanity. What's our current thrust to weight here? 1.28? It's acceptable. Okay, we'll be entering orbit in just a moment here. Good enough. Don't really care about the eccentricity. We'll set the moon as our target again. We will go ahead and extend our solar panel, which is actually on the other side. There we go. Solar panel extended. We will head to the moon sometime around here. There we go. That is one heck of an encounter. Okay, we can come in this direction. About like that. 40 kilometers should be sufficient. Okay, we will orient for that burn. Physics warp that. Burn time of 55 seconds, so at 27.5 seconds is when we want to begin this burn. We're basically oriented now. Okay, warping forward towards 27.5 seconds. And we are going to begin this burn right about now. And off we go with our ludicrous amounts of DV. And this time, we're actually going to hit the moon. The sun is over here. That's fine. We are going to stay in this orientation until we are very close to our burn point. "250 meters per second to go in this burn. $100, $50. Just finishing off this with a little bit of accuracy here. Okay, how are we looking? 23, that's fine. We can work with that. Okay, I'm going to quick save here in case my orientation is incorrect. And we are just going to warp about here. Just checking. Okay, that seems fine. Now, I would like to, for right now, enter hibernation on the Rove Mate, which we actually need to not be in time warp for. And we will enter hibernation on the remote guidance unit as well. There we go. And now we will warp to right here. We're full on electric charge. Excellent. We are currently control locked. Why are we control locked? Oh, because we are in hibernation, of course. We will unhibernate this guy, and we're also going to unhibernate this guy. There we go. Now we'll add a retrograde maneuver. Something along the lines of, well, something along the lines of this should be, in theory, fine. Yes, yes indeed. So now we will orient to the maneuver node. This is a 14-second burn, so we want to burn at T-minus 7 seconds. Okay, we are almost oriented. There we go. We will now warp forward towards that T-minus 7 seconds. And this would be quite an energetic gravity assist right now, if we were to gravity assist this. But of course we are not. We are coming in for a landing. I kind of don't care where. We're about 10 seconds away from this burn. And now we are going to burn. We are in orbit over the moon now. Okay, probably good enough. Yeah, that's fine. Our inclination is kind of funky, but actually that's not our inclination at all, is it? Yeah, that's our inclination. What am I talking about? Of course that's our inclination. So I think we will go ahead and warp to somewhere around here. We're going to keep this orientation. We might lose power on the dark side, but that's fine. No, I think we're going to be good. We have such a ludicrous amount of delta V. Like, we haven't even burned out the center core yet. And we could almost... Well, we couldn't, but we could almost land with that. So I think we will go ahead and do a quick retrograde burn. Something like here. There we go. We'll orient for that. Physics warp that orient. This is going to burn out this stage, which is fine. We are a-okay with that happening. 27-second burn, so T minus 13.5 seconds is when we want to burn this. So I'm just warping towards that. Okay, just a few seconds now. And let the burn begin. We're aiming for this relatively flat patch here. That's why I chose where I did. So this stage is going to be burned out, and this stage is going to be mostly not utilized. We're now going to enter surface mode. We're going to flip to surface retrograde. We are going to stow this solar panel. Our orientation looks good. Excellent. And down we go. Now I do want to go into stability assist here. And we're just going to see about killing some of this horizontal speed. Just a little bit here. That looks good. So we're coming down right over here. Excellent. Gonna quick save here, just in case. And we're just gonna warp down a little ways. I do want to be in radar altitude mode. Going to warp down to about 10 kilometers here. So thrust to weight, 6.9. Sounds good. We have so much delta V that I'm not concerned about overburning this on our descent. Okay. Going to warp down to about 5 kilometers. There we go. There goes our other stage. Excellent. Okay, we're doing good. We're going to bring it down to 3 kilometers. Oh, we can't warp anymore. Fair enough. So we are at 3 kilometers now. I'm actually going to let it continue to drop to about 2 kilometers. We have a lot of thrust to weight. Just going to take this down to about 20 meters per second. There we go. And now, off we go. Excellent. This, we're just going to let fall. And impact. That is rather loud on the sky crane, but that's fine. Just wanted to get us some distance there. Can see here that it's going to hit in just a second. Kaboom. We're having a bit of trouble hitting that surface retrograde marker, but that's okay. We'll just go into SAS mode. That'll handle it. We are currently about 300 meters above the surface. Let's slow it right on down. Okay. I'm allowing us to accelerate a little bit until we hit 100 meters above the surface. Which we are now. So we will decelerate. Right on down. I do want to have the brake action group on. You can see that we are drifting a little bit to the side. This is so much thrust to weight. Okay, there we go. We have successfully landed. We'll go ahead and grab a seismic scan and a gravity scan. Fantastic. Now I'm going to quick save this, because this is a bit of a delicate process here. The idea here is we throttle up and decouple, basically at the same time, so that this flies off and leaves. I quick saved because I can mess this up pretty badly. And I want to be able to retry this. Look at that thing tumble. It's so loud, even this far away. It just stopped. I'm confused. What happened to it? Oh well. We've got our lander here, and we can go ahead and extend our solar panel. And in theory... Oh yeah. I want to make sure that this is on SAS only. It is. This should also be on SAS only. There we go. Now I believe there's another reaction wheel here. I'm going to turn on the brakes. Brakes. I'm going to turn off the SAS. Just let us settle a bit. There we go. You're on SAS only. You don't have a reaction wheel. You're on SAS only. Okay. So now we can head on over. And I realize this episode is getting a bit on the long side. What? You've got to be kidding me. These are opposite. Okay. That's going to be exciting. They worked fine when we tested them. But I guess when we rerouted it, maybe? And they're linked. Okay, well, that's certainly going to be exciting. Yes, indeed. If we do that, yep, these are inverted from each other as well. Okay, well, I don't know if there's a way to fix that at this point. I can look into it. Because, yeah, that's a pretty big problem. Regardless, we can just turn the brakes on for right now. And we can simply transmit back. These have transmitters. I guess we'll just have to do it through this interface. Okay. Well, this was a problematic episode. Let's just pretend that this never existed. It did exist, but I'm probably going to just untrack that, and we'll send up another one. I guess it needs to have its own antenna. I thought that we could just use the built-in antenna. Apparently not. So we'll terminate that. We'll terminate this. And we will terminate this. And we may as well terminate this one, too. It's not going to be able to be useful either. So we need to do that. And then we need to figure out a couple of things on this. It is, however, very, very late in the episode. So I'm going to go ahead and put a cut in here. And next episode, we are going to have our revision of this thing that is hopefully actually functional. I thought I had tested this. Apparently I had not. I'm just going to put in a quick communitron. Right over here-ish. I don't exactly want this snapping. So we'll just, yeah, we'll mount this in right about here. And that should be sufficient for these needs. Then as far as these things being linked up goes, I don't know what to tell you on that one. I'll do some research, and we'll see what we can find. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time when this is going to go better. I promise.